evening, everyone, and how are we? All good, I hope. All is well here. Emily is not here yet again. I know. It's supposed to be me and Emily, and she's hardly ever in the videos, but she's in Portugal with my mother, having a lovely break, and she deserves it too. So, miss her, obviously. She will be back, and she will be making her appearance sooner rather than later, I think. Unless she just chooses to stay in Portugal, because, you know, whatever they're having over there is a lot different to what we're having over here. Although, unfortunately for some, in like Spain and Greece, they're having a nightmare of a time, and I would rather have the weather that we're currently having with the wind and the 20 degrees and the rain over the 45. Just my opinion, but that's what I would prefer for sure. I am not someone who does great heat. And to be fair, I don't think anyone does 45 degrees well, do they? And it's not even good, is it? They've got fires and all sorts. So, yes. I think Emsy's in the 30s, which, you know, still a bit hot for me, but she seems to be enjoying it. So that's all good. Anyway, change of location, look. We're not in the kitchen. No, we're up in my other workspace that I do for my other little business. So we're here up in my bedroom is where we're at. And we have our candles. And first of all, I'm going to say, with the whole closed peg double wicking thing, not bad. Yes. I mean, God knows what they look like underneath the top layer. Could be wonky as hell, but don't look too bad from the top. So, on appearances, I've noticed the coconut wax sort of isn't as smooth a top, if that's showing, as the soy wax is. And if we look at these, the adhesion is not the best. But to be fair, I didn't make a lot of soy candles in glass vessels, so I don't know how that would compare. And don't forget, we reuse these glass vessels. So we need to remember that as well. Anyway, 4 candles, 2 with the CD3 double wicks, 1 CD10 and 1 CL12. I'm right in front of my window, so apologies if this is coming across with a real bright glare. But anyway, so I'm going to burn them today and just see about this coconut wax and see how it goes. I'm not going to do a great big lengthy video on this because I've done a fair few burn test videos, and you know, being serious, there's only so many of those sorts of videos you want to watch, I am sure. But this is more I'm going to burn test these and I'm going to give you the results so that you can keep up to date with what is occurring. I did very quickly, however, I want to just mention some of these comments because you brilliant lot do leave them and I love it. I love getting them. I had someone say they enjoy the videos, which is just brilliant. I mean, I love making them because, well, it keeps me entertained and it breaks up the silence for a start, even though it's my own voice I'm listening to, of course. But to look back on, I think it's going to be really, really great fun when, you know, the day is going to come when we are going to crack these candles. So I'm going to look back with fondness over the start of the journey when that day finally comes. There could come a day when we are a very big, massive company. Was that stretching the imagination a little bit far, maybe? But just say it happened. Then it would be really good fun looking back on this little part of the journey. Anyway, thank you, Wild Romico, is that? I'm glad you enjoy the videos. I enjoy making them. And someone suggested double wicking. Obviously, we have done that now, so it'll be interesting to see how these get on. No idea which wick series work well with coconut because we really haven't done a lot of work with the coconut wax. And the only reason we've made coconut wax this time round is that we have like the biggest bag on planet Earth of coconut wax. And I'm out of soy wax. And just for another week or so, I'm not able to fund a new bag. But the day is coming when we will have more soy wax back in the cupboard and we are good to go again. I will, of course, be double wicking probably in the first candles we make with our new bag of soy wax. Still undecided what to do there with the wax, to be fair. I'm doing a lot of research on it. Not decided if I'm going to use CB3135 again or not. Flashpoints. They're not for the shipping. Oh no, they are. Flashpoints are. God. are for the shipping, not for the actual candle making. In other words, I think that's being suggested that you don't have to take it into account at what temperature you pour it, and a lot of people do pour it apparently at 185. Don't know, is that 85 in degrees? I'm not sure, but a lot of people do just pour it straight in as soon as that wax has hit its melt temperature. Someone suggested, or haven't suggested, but they've asked if I've ever thought of using rapeseed wax. Well, I didn't even know that was a thing. I've heard of beeswax, soy wax, coconut wax, paraffin wax. I have never heard of the rapeseed wax. So not something I've thought of, but something I might look into. And they've suggested using it with the coconut wax. So if this wax works well, and it's something that I think I might stick with, I possibly will look into the rapeseed wax and see what that's all about. Someone else, Gracie, says, I'm so funny. Well, I'm glad that that's what comes across. I do have a wicked sense of humour, and I find literally everything in life quite funny. In fact, I've been known to find things funny that actually aren't necessarily funny at the time to other people, but that's probably, in all fairness, the Aspie trait in the, MZ's Asperger's. I've definitely got traits of it myself, having looked back on my life, and a lot of it now makes sense, having brought Emily up, if that makes sense. So yeah, maybe my sense of humour is a bit misplaced at times, but it makes life so much fun, I must admit. So if you enjoy the videos and you think I'm funny, then I'm really glad, because that just means you're getting a sense of my personality and who I actually am, which is, I pretty much just am who I am all the time. So as long as it doesn't annoy you, that is great. Anyway, she also said try some wood wicks, which again, I have obviously seen the wood wicks. And the only reason I haven't gone down that road yet is because I seem to have put so much time and effort into these other wicks. It's kind of become a bit of a challenge to me, and I want to crack those. But I will no doubt look at the wood wicks at some point. And she'd like me to do a review on the wax melter, which I'm very glad to do. I just haven't used it yet because the quantities of wax I'm using really are, I've kind of been saving it for when we crack the candle. It's going to be like one of those, yay, we've done it, now we can use the wax melter. But at the same time, it literally is sitting there doing nothing. It's getting wax all over it, even though it's not being used. So maybe the time is coming very soon when we actually get using or start using the wax melter, in which time I will do a review. And someone ages ago suggested about getting a different tap on it, and I'm gonna have to look back through the comments, because that's absolutely definitely something I need to do, because I will give you a little review on the wax melter now. The tap is made of plastic, or something that looks very much like plastic, and I might be wrong, but I'm not sure plastic and hot wax mixes to the best. So yes, I should be investing in a tap for it. Anyway, that's some of the reviews. Gracie again mentioned a load of wicks for me to try, especially the CDNs, which, at the moment I still haven't been able to get hold of, because I'm just waiting for a little bit of cash flow to come in, and then I'm going to be on it. I will be on the case with the CDN wicks. Anyway, some LX wicks to suggest, which is perfect. Oh, and Gracie also said about getting something. It was a candle testing template, which I did make my own sort of candle testing sheets, but there ended up being 4 sheets to 1 candle. So she recommended this download, which was free, and I downloaded it, and it's this. And it's a little sheet here where you can put all your information every time you do a burn test. So I have downloaded that, and thank you very much, Gracie. We will be using those and be keeping everything written up on paper on 1 sheet as opposed to 4 per candle. So yes, brilliant. I'll stop there because I don't want to bore you with all my comments. I just wanted to say thank you for all your comments. It's lovely knowing you're there as always, and like I say, everything is really useful. I read and reply to all of them, so I hope I do anyway. I hope I haven't missed anyone out. So yes, keep doing that. It's so nice to know that you are sharing this journey with me. Now then, let's get on to burning these candles. So I did the wicks. They're 5mm wicks. The only thing I will say is that this one is already quite far down in the jar, because if you remember, we ran out of wax using the water method, because I reduced the 20%, which I don't think I needed to do. And so I don't know how that will affect the test. And the other thing I will say is that they didn't end up orange. I thought that the ones with the, was it blueberry muffin, was going to end up orange. They are a slightly creamier colour to the other ones. Let me come in. There you go. But they're not orange. I quite like them. They look a bit like the soy candles. As for the smell, well, I'm still not a fan of the cinnamon and vanilla. It really does take my breath away a little bit. But we're going to burn it and see if that helps at all. I mean, if I pick this up in a shop, just being honest with you, I'd be putting it straight back again. Because this smell is definitely not making my favourites. This one, on the other hand, I tell you what this smells like. You know when you're young and you, well, you all know when you're young. Anyway, when I was young, if you got poorly, you went to the doctors, obviously. And you got given a medicine and it was red. And it tasted amazing. Just like, you know, obviously it did. It's like adding some sort of sweetener or something to it so that as a child you'd actually take it, and then you get to about the age of 12 and that's your first dose of the adult world, because suddenly your medicine tastes like shit. But anyway, this smells like how I remember that tasted. So that brings back memories. I wonder if I could call it medicine. I don't think it would sell too well, but that's exactly the smell of that medicine, or how it tasted to me. Right, God, I'm gabbling. Is gabbling even a word? I'm blabbing on again. At the start of this video, I said I wasn't going to keep you long, and here I go. Waffle, 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 waffle. I'm going to light the candles. So, and then I'm going to go and dot them around the house. I'm not going to take you on that part of the journey. I'm just going to shut my window a moment, because there is a little bit of a breeze, even though it's very pleasant. I'm going to shut it. Let's get cracking. So this has got 2 CD3s in it, and it's lit. That's about as excited as it gets. I'll put it down here. I'll show you after I've lit it. This is also CD3s. So we have 2 double wick candles this time round. This is the CD10, which I did have not bad results on in the last burn test, just not good enough. And this is a CL12, which is one I absolutely definitely haven't used a lot of. Again, I don't know which, if any of these, so the CD or the CL, I don't know if they're recommended for coconut wax, because I didn't go so far as looking into it like that. So who knows? Who knows how this is going to end? But as always, it's going to be exciting to find out. But I'll give you a quick look at them before I go and dot them, and I will rejoin you later if and when I've got some results to share with you. I bet you can't wait. So there we are, all looking lovely, as they always do at the start of any of our burn tests. This is the one that's already set down quite deep into the vessel, so that's obviously going to make a difference from that point of view. But the rest are all pretty much at the same depth, thanks to our handy little wick thing that I made. So yes, anyway, I'm going over and out. Not going to keep you. I will speak to you again soon. Well now, I'm at the hour mark, and although I'm still not enjoying the smell, and for some ridiculous reason I put this particular candle in the room where I'm working, which was a mistake, the candle's not performing too badly. It's an hour in and it's not quite reached the full melt pool, but it's done a much better job than we previously have had. So I will show you quickly, and yes, there is a smell, as I've just said. It's not taking over the room, but then I am working in the room, but it's really not the best smell. I'm definitely not doing cinnamon and vanilla, so it's a bit pointless carrying out the test for it. Although that's a bit selfish, because maybe there's people out there that would enjoy the cinnamon and vanilla flavour, smell rather. Anyway, I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to go and look at the others, and if they're any good, I'm going to show you those too. Look at that. Now, one flame is slightly higher than the others, and they're sort of bouncing a little bit, but then I'm talking. But they're not out of control, they're not massive. And look, it's almost at the full melt pool. And I don't think that's classed as too deep. Or is it? I don't think so. I don't actually know. I'm going to have to look it up. What is the depth of wax that should be melted? But anyway, compared to many other occasions, I don't think that's looking bad at the 1 hour mark. Oh, mind you, that is quite, it's not hot, but it is, you know, it's on the higher side of warm, shall we say. Shut all my doors so that the smells are contained within each room. So I'm going to open this door and see if there's a smell. Ooh! We'll get into the dark. Oh, I mean, that smells bloody lovely. Bit of a different melt pool situation though, but it smells nice. There, that's after the hour mark, so I don't think that's going to cut the monkey. Cut the rope, cut the monkey. Cut something. There's a saying, I don't know what it is. I don't know why I try to put sayings in, I don't know them. Anyway, that glass is still on the cool side and the smell is lovely. But look, we do have some sweating and that melt pool is not the best at 1 hour, but it's got to achieve it at the end of 4. Oh, that's a point. Oh, now I can't even remember. Is it after 1 hour or after 4 hours? So that other one's going to be too much of a melt pool. Oh my God, it was me getting optimistic. Anyway, the smell out here is bloody lovely. Smell like in the bathroom. Yeah, it's disgusting. This is a cinnamon one. Look at the sweating on that. That is some excessive sweat going on there. And that's the melt pool. And the smell isn't as strong, but it's definitely present. Literally always get sweating. No one's going to want a candle that looks like that, are they? Exciting news is that one had the cinnamon, so the next room's got the blueberry muffin in it. So I'm already excited. Let's go and see. Smells very nice in here as well. I don't even know what that is. This is Emily's room. That's got to be bloody nail varnish or some god-awful thing. Anyway, that's the melt pool situation with this one. And the glass is not hot and it hasn't gone full melt pool yet. The smell is nice. I'm loving this blueberry muffin. So yes, I'd completely forgotten in all my excitement there that the full melt pool is supposed to be achieved after 4 hours. And we've almost got it on this one here after 1. So suddenly my enthusiasm has decreased some. But the blueberry muffin one honestly smells fantastic. So that is worth getting a little bit excited about. Anyway, I wasn't going to give you a report as we went, but I just thought I would then because this one looked so perfect until I realised that clearly it's not going to be a successful candle, because if it's reached full melt pool almost after 1 hour, the whole thing's going to be gone by the end of 4. And we don't want that, do we? So going again now, and I will report back if there's more exciting news to tell you. The 2 hour mark already, and yes, this one's getting a little bit hot now. I will show it to you. Here we have it. I have since discovered, having done a bit of research, the melt pool after, well, sort of between 2 and 3 hours, and then, well, reaching the edge, and the depth shouldn't be any more than 12 millimeters, which seems a lot to me. Between 6 and 12 millimeters. Anyway, I'm not convinced on these flames, and that vessel is getting very, very hot. So I'm going to blow this one out. I don't like the smell anyway. Let's go and see how the other one's performing. Well, it smells lovely out here. The melt pool has increased. The sweating is still there. And the flame... I'm not convinced. It's going to be a bit high. But anyway, we'll give it another hour. The room smells horrible, and this one is not performing well, I would say. The sweating is excessive on this one. I think this is the CD10 because it's leaning over, but Yeah, that's going to tunnel for sure. So again, 2 hour mark, not convinced. What do we got going on here? There's the milk pool on that one. Mushrooming, I think, occurring on one of those wicks, but not the other. That just could be, I suppose, where I cut it. Not quite reached a full milk pool. Smell is lovely. Is that a sinkhole developed down there? Well, again, give it another hour, see what occurs. And again, and we are at the 3 hour mark, and unfortunately, unexpectedly, I have to go out now, so I can't test these to 4 hours. So I'm gonna have to stop it at 3 for this test burn. Sorry, a little bit of an itch. So I'll show the candles. I blew one out because that was the one that originally I was excited about because it had nearly achieved a full melt pool after 1 hour. That one's gone, but the flames were too small anyway, and the vessel was too hot. So these are the 3 we have left. Now, the blueberry muffin, the smell has been lovely, really nice, and it has filled the space. So this is the first one. But there is a little bit of smoking and the flame has been dancing. I know I'm talking. But it does it while I'm not talking. So I'm not convinced. The melt pool isn't bad. There's a bit of a sinkhole just starting to develop there. I think it is. It's a funny old colour. I'm sure it is a little sinkhole around the bottom of the wick. It almost achieved full melt pool after 3 hours, so perhaps after another hour's burn it would work. I mean, I will test this one again tomorrow, just because there is the small sinkhole, so it's obviously taking up more fuel than it otherwise would, which may be what's causing this to dance around. So I will let this one blow it out, let it set, and I will test it again tomorrow. The vessel's fine. Look, I'm holding it no troubles whatsoever. It's a really comfortable heat to hold. It's not hot, it's not cold, it's just right. So, you know, potentially we'll give it another burn and we will see. And I will do that. I can't do it tomorrow. I'm working in my friend's shop tomorrow and Wednesday, so it'd have to be Thursday. No, I'm helping parcels on Thursday, so Friday. Oh my God, so much going on this week. Anyway, potential. This one, however, no. I will bring the video down in a minute and show you. It's tiny. The melt pool is tunneling, the flame is tiny. It sweated loads when it first got going. I don't understand why it sweats, but everything seems to sweat. So that's definitely a no-go. And this is the 2 CD wicks in the blueberry muffin. The glass is much hotter than the previous one I showed you. You know, I can hold it, but it's getting on, it's quite warm. So I might test burn this one again. It has achieved a full melt pool. How deep is that melt pool? So it's about 7 millimeters deep, which I think is passable. One wick seems to perform better than the other. I think they were both cut to the same height, but maybe they weren't. But obviously I held these in with clothes pegs. So they both look fine. But the flames are quite small again. I don't know how big the flames would tend to be on a CD3 though. They would be smaller flames, I'm sure. But I might let this one settle, and basically this wick's curled over more than this wick has, so it's appearing to look a lot smaller than this one now. But it has achieved a full melt pool, which is something I don't think I've ever seen. So that's kind of cool in itself. I will let this one set and I will probably try that one again just out of interest to see how it goes. So yes, that is us at the 3 hour mark. I mean, it's not as disastrous as that. I mean, normally we just get tunnels, don't we? We get tunnels or we get large flames that have to be blown out and it's all a disaster. But to be fair, there are definitely 2 here that are worth retesting. And for the first time ever, we've got a full melt pool. So that is quite exciting. Anyway, I'll give you an aerial view of these and then I will have to say goodbye because I've got to go. And I will let you know how the second test burn goes. Maybe we're onto something here. So there we are. There's the melt pool on the first. So almost there at 3 hours. Not quite. This was the one that's just tunneling, and you can still see all the sweat, and the flame size is just, well, I think pathetic comes to mind. And this is the third one. You can see the sinkhole there around the flame that's performing better. And yeah, it's not so good on the left. So yeah, if this one is performing better because of the sinkhole, well, that's not good, because normally the sinkhole would not be there. But anyway, I will give it another burn tomorrow. So that's the depth of it there, look. But yeah, it's quite exciting. We've achieved a full melt pool for the first time ever. Maybe there is something in this double wicking. So there we go. I'm going to have to love you and leave you now. And again at some point soon. Well, in about 4-ish days, probably. All right. Bye. See you then. Hello again. So I mentioned my burn test, and I'm now at the 4-hour mark with the 2 remaining candles that I was trying out. And although I don't think we've quite done it, we have got a full-on melt pool going here, and that alone is very exciting because we have never achieved that. The problem I've got with it is the glass is really bloody hot. So that alone, I don't know what the actual temperature of the glass is allowed to be, and I don't have a laser thermometer thing to test it, but to the touch, it gets too hot. If you hold on to it for 1, 2, 3 seconds, and it's too hot to hold. So I'm assuming that's not good. But it does make me wonder what the next size down, CDN, no, not CDN, they're the ones I can't get, what CD2s would do. And it probably is worth having a go at that, to be fair. The other candle, after 4 hours, the glass is, it's, you know, it's warm, but it's not too hot to touch. It hasn't quite got to a full melt pool, but definitely worth doing a 3rd burn on it, I think. But these are probably the best results I've ever had. So I'm going to show them to you. And even though we've bought all that bloody wax now, coconut wax actually has probably performed the best we've had. Isn't that ironic? Anyway, let me show you them. This flame does do this a bit, but I sat watching it for a little while, and it tends to be only when I'm talking. I'm just going to be quiet, and I know that's boring, but I want you to see the flame and tell me what you think. I mean, is that an acceptable flame? In terms of its height, it is about, well, it's less than 2 centimetres, because obviously with rulers, which I said before, I don't understand it, they leave this gap, which is very frustrating. So I'd say it's about 1.5 centimetres. And as for the melt pool, as you see, it hasn't quite got there after 4 hours, but it's so very near. So again, I think I'll give it a 3rd burn. Now this is the 2 CDs, I'm getting so confused now, the 2 CD3s. Here's the melt pool. It achieved it after 3 hours, to be fair. And this is the depth of it. So the depth is, I have to get down to eye level. The depth of the melt pool is 1.3 centimetres. So that's probably just a slight, I think it's got to be between 6 and 12 millimetres, isn't it? The depth, an acceptable depth anyway. So that's just ever so slightly to, it's a shame I can't really, ever so slightly too deep. But like I say, that's got to be the best success we've ever had, even though we're still not quite there. We've literally never achieved a melt pool before. So all of you that said about the double wicking, you are definitely onto something as far as that goes. I am really tempted to give another cocoa, even though I've bought all that wax. It's very tempting to try the coconut one again with a couple of CDN. No, not CDN. I can't get CDN. A couple of CD2s, or even ones, to be fair. Or even try it with the eco ones. No, because we do know that the eco wicks don't like the coconut wax. but certainly the CDs aren't too bad. So CD 1 or 2 would be well worth trying. And again, I'm gonna, because this one I can hold, it's absolutely fine. So it's full. Oh, is it worth, what was it? This was the CL12. So it might be worth even going up one on that and seeing what that does, but certainly giving it another burn, because like I say, as far as holding this glass goes, absolutely fine. So quite exciting results. Yeah, how funny is that? We just made these coconut candles purely because that's all the wax we had left, and we haven't trialed them loads. We haven't done hundreds and hundreds of tests. I mean, I have literally got, what, 40 vessels full of old soy wax because the candles didn't work. Which, by the way, I've really got to empty because that's a lot of wastage. And we've made a couple of coconut wax candles, and we've had the best results we've ever had. So isn't that just so funny? Anyway, still haven't quite got there, but the nearest we've been for sure, and I'm really glad I could have shared that with you. And I can't wait to see how we get on with all the new wax now. There's rather a lot of it, considering really we got a massive bag of the coconut wax, and we've almost got there. We could end up with all sorts of candles in our range: soy wax, coconut wax, the other wax. Oh well, these things happen, don't they? Just got to go with it. I hope you enjoyed that one, and yeah, I can't wait to see what results we get in the future. I'm definitely going to do another coconut wax one though. I've just got to order the CD2s because I didn't have them. That was the ones I was originally going to make this candle with. Isn't that funny? We almost could have been, if the CD2s work, we were so close. We nearly made the perfect candle. We just didn't have those particular wicks. But yeah, it's very exciting to see. I wish I could pick it. Well, I can pick it up at the bottom. Look at that. An actual melt pool, albeit a very big one. And look at the wicks. You can see the wicks. They're not too funny in there, considering they were held together with clothes pegs. I'm actually really chuffed with those results. Right, stop it, as I'm going to go on and on and on. I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a fantastic week or two. And yeah, I hope the sun's shining. I hope you're not in one of these places where the temperatures are god awful, because I really feel for you. I would not be coping with that at all. So yeah, hope you're all good. Hope you're not being affected by the heat, and I will see you soon. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.